Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to give you guys a step-by-step makeup tutorial. I know that sometimes it can be hard understanding the process of applying makeup, especially if it's your first time wearing makeup or you're somebody that wants to get more into makeup. So if you're interested, just keep watching. So I like to, and if I look this way, it's because I'm looking directly at my mirror. I like to start off with primer. So I have this e.l.f. primer right here. And it's a poreless face primer, so I like to start off with this. I don't always start off with this, but I do a lot. I have really bad pores in this area of my skin, and so I do feel that it minimizes pores slightly, not like drastically, but it does help. So I use this when I really want to make sure that my skin looks good underneath the foundation before I apply it. And I don't really apply that much everywhere around my face. I'm not the type of person that likes to put primer all over my face. I just put it in the area that it needs to be. So because this is a poreless face primer, I use it in the areas where I have really bad pores. Also, I'm running out of setting spray. I use the Milk makeup setting spray. I think it's so good. I ran out and I haven't ordered any more, so I really need to do that. But for the time being, I'll just use what I have. So after I put the face primer on, I'm now going to do my eyeshadow. So this is a more natural makeup look. So I don't like to do a full face. I only do full eyeshadow when I'm doing a full face. But in the sense that I'm not, I'm going to take the 16-hour e.l.f. Concealer. Yes, it's super bright and light for my skin tone. However, I like to use this on the very lower part of my eyelid. And then I like to blend it out as a baseline for the eyeshadow that I'm going to apply. I'm going to take any type of brush that I have pretty much and just really blend it out. I blended it out as much as I can blend it out with this type of brush. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a beauty blender, clean one, and just, it's a dry one, and just kind of go over it and let it blend it out more. So after that's done, I'm going to take this Urban Decay Naked brush. It's kind of dirty, but I use the same color, so bear with me. I'm going to use the Naked Urban Decay Cherry palette. And what I basically am going to do, this is not the brush with this palette, by the way. This is the brush for the Golden palette. I forgot the name. It's the golden one, but I'm using it for this because I can't find the brush for this. But I like to take Privacy right here and basically put that in this area, just covering it all up. Because what this does is it gives my eye look a super dark toned natural look for my skin tone. Whenever I go for like a super simple eyeshadow look, I just take a brown or a darker orange, like a more brown orange color, and I put that in my crease area and just blend. And I'm just using one color because I want it to look super natural in the eye area today. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the color pops out so much more after I added the 16-hour Camo Concealer Matte Finish in the shade Medium Sand. So after that's done, I'm now gonna actually move on to my face. So I have my foundation. I used L'Oreal Paris True Match Super Blendable Foundation. It's oil free and it's an all day wear, and it's a neutral foundation, so it's like if you have dry skinned or dewy or like a more what's the word, my mind's blank, but hopefully you guys know what I mean. It's just neutral, that's what that means. And this is in the shade Mahogany in 9. Is this one, and I like to spray all my brushes before I apply the makeup. You don't want it to be wet, you just want it to be slightly damp, okay? Because what this does is it helps set your, I find that it helps set my foundation a lot better when I spray it before with the setting spray. I'm gonna go on this side and I'll blend it all out. And now I'm gonna do this exact same thing to the entire face. And when I see you guys again, we'll get started on my concealer. So as you can see, my foundation is all on. So the next step I do, and if you can see how dirty it got, it's crazy, right? So the next step that I do is brows. So this is the part that is kind of tricky. I just recently, like yesterday, bought this brow stylist definer. So it's an ultra fine tip point, and I got dark brunette from L'Oreal Paris. I have a lot of L'Oreal Paris products and I'm just realizing that now. But this is how it looks. First up, I just immediately brush my brow hair up. I know there's like a new trend going on where like people are wearing their brows like literally like this. They just kind of make it more outlined and defined. I'm not really a fan of that look, just me personally. I just think it looks kind of weird. I've seen some people that look really good with it, but I do like, I've seen, I believe, her name's Ashley Devano. I love her YouTube channel, and I've seen her do this brow look, but hers looks good, and I think it's because she does it a bit more natural. I think there's like a medium for it. Like there's a too extreme, right? And then there's a perfect, and then too low. And I think that I do like the upward brow look, but just more look, just so that, like, I do like the natural brow upward look thing because I do like the defined brow lines that they show with that look. However, I think that I like it more naturally because it looks a bit weird the way that a lot of people do it. So the first thing that I do is I kind of draw a line between the 2 points right here. And the reason I do that is because I like to make my brows a little bit longer in terms of this direction. I just find that it makes it look more full. And then I just go out and I go upwards. Literally just follow my line and I go upwards like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to this side. Draw it out like that. And then I immediately just lightly, very lightly, go upwards and follow the line. So then you have this. So this is like the first step. It's kind of just like an outline of what I want it to look like. And then I rebrush it up now. And I'm gonna now like fill it in more closely. So I have a mirror that I'm looking at, and I'm gonna like take this and get closer and just fill it in. And literally just like make sure that all the like weird looking spots are filled and look better. So now I have my brows done. So the next step is I take this Brow Precise. Is from, I believe this is from Maybelline, and it's a fiber volumizer in deep brown. So I just take this and it just kind of adds that more natural upward look that I said that I liked. So next we're finally gonna move on to concealer. I love this concealer so much. I use the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, and it's a super coverage, and I use it in, I use shade Mocha. So yeah, you can use it to conceal, to contour, to highlight, and to retouch. Use it right here, and here, and here, and here. I take, this is my go-to concealer brush, okay? I just washed it, so it's pretty damp. But I'm still gonna spray just one. I don't want it to be too damp. And we're just gonna blend it out. If I wasn't doing eyeshadow, I would bring this all the way up to my eye and powder that all together, but because I'm using eyeshadow today, we didn't have to do that. If you want more coverage, use an actually dry beauty blender, but if you use damp or wet, it's going to be less coverage. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face, but before I do that, I'll get off and do the rest. I want to show you guys where else I place my concealer. So I place it here. I place it in my T-zone, basically. Here. I press it here. I put it here. And I also do it right under my contour. So everybody has a natural contour line. Some are just more showing or more defined than others. And mine, I have a contour line. I don't know if you guys can see that right here. That darker area on my face, that's my natural contour line. So I just like to go under that with the concealer to sculpt and make my natural contour line more defined for when I contour, and it makes it a lot easier of a process. So if you have a natural contour line that you can actually see, like it's noticeable, just go right underneath it and contour it, and it's gonna sculpt it. So look how I see before, and I'll show you guys how I look afterwards. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take the setting spray again. So I'm gonna take this and just lightly pat the area that I just sprayed on top of the concealer. I find that spraying as you go really makes a difference. It like sets it, wow, like the entire process. When I started spraying as I go, like spray before I put my foundation on, and then lightly spray the brush and do it afterwards, and do that process for each step. So the concealer, the contour, it makes my makeup last 100 times longer. Obviously that's an exaggeration, but it makes it last for a way longer time than it would have originally. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with my setting powder. So I do need to get some more. I just recently started using setting powder again, but this is luxury baking powder. The name is kind of covered up. Like I said, I've had this for a minute, so I definitely need to get a updated new one. But I do spray it. This is not supposed to spray like that. I do spray it. It feels so slightly damp that it basically feels dry. That's where you want it to be. I want to make that clear. You don't want it to be to where it's like noticeably wet. You want to be able to tell that it's like there's wetness on it, but majority of the brush or the beauty blender is still dry, because you don't want your makeup to come off patchy, and I feel like that can happen sometimes if you do that step the wrong way. And this is what really helps set my makeup and last for majority of the day without me having to retouch it. So now that that is done, we're gonna let that sit, and while it's sitting, we're gonna do the contour. So today I want a more natural contour. If I wanted a more bold, intense contour, I would use a foundation as a contour. I personally found that when I just get darker foundations and use that as a contour, it blends in so much better with my foundation and my contouring. So if you want to know how some people are able to like get that super blendable look with contour, you can really use any contour you want and just really blend it. But the thing is, it's just so much more time consuming. I know that when I get a foundation, the texture and consistency of it is so much different. It goes on a lot smoother and blends in a lot better, especially if you're using the same brand of foundation and concealer and contour. So if I wanted a deeper, darker look, I would use Matte Poreless shade 375 Java from Fit Me foundation. But because I want a more natural one today, I'm just going to use the Black Radiance True Complexion Cream Contour Palette. So if you can see, I need to re-up on it. Literally, it's almost gone. I don't really use these two. Sometimes I use this as a highlight, but I use this one the most, very clearly. But I'm just going to switch this around. I like using these type of brushes for this type of contour, for this like non-liquidy contour, because watch, it just blends so, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it just blends so much better to me and faster. And yes, I personally want it to look a bit more dramatic in this step, because once I add the powders and all the other things, it's gonna actually diminish a bit and be more blended with everything else. So you do want to go a little overboard, just slightly. But I'm gonna do the rest of my face contour, and then we'll get back on for the next step. So my camera is about to die, so I need to like hurry this process up, but thankfully we're on our last really big step. So the last step is this. I use L'Oreal Paris Again Infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation in a powder. So you could use this as a full matte coverage foundation, but I use it as a powder, and this is 330 hazelnut. Okay, it looks like this. I love the new packaging, like the new design, because it used to just be all black and now it's red. But we're gonna just quickly take this powder brush and tap this and brush the powder away. Before I get off, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys all the products I'm going to use, because I have to hurry and come back on with the full face. So I'm going to finish the rest of the face taking the powder off. Then I'm going to use my mascaras. I use Great Lash, Very Black, and Maybelline. And then I'm going to go in with my blush, Peach Me Pink. And then I'm going to go in with a silver waterline under my waterline, and use a Fenty Beauty lip gloss with a red lipstick, and set my face with this last thing that I have of milk. So I will be back when all of this is done.